do that for you guys. Nothing flying out, everything's good. Just want to mention that I'm now playing this Gretsch Brooklyn kit, and I think they sound amazing. I had maybe 10 minutes to just kind of tweak a little bit. I mean, the guys did a good job tuning them up, but I kind of have my own personal thing I like to hear, and so I was, it didn't take long to just get it in the ballpark, and I think they sound great. Really happy to be playing these drums, and they're kind of a throwback to the old Gretsch thing in a way. At least that's the way I see it and hear it. If you know the history of the Gretsch USA Customs, these are kind of a play off of that. These are also, this is getting louder and louder. It doesn't have to be that loud. Thanks. And they're also made in the US, just like the USA Customs are. And the shell's a little different. These Brooklyns are, they're made of a maple and poplar shell combined, which to me gives it that low end. It's hard to find in drums sometimes. They just already have the low end, and they're warm, and also the rim is not the typical die-cast heavy Gretsch thing. It's a lighter rim, and it's a little bit thinner, and to me that lets the head kind of breathe a little bit more, so I can get more sustain out of the drum, which I like to have as much ring as possible. Maybe you noticed that, especially in the bass drum. If I can get away with it, I love that. It doesn't quite go over well with bands like Steely Dan or any of the pop rock stuff that I've done, but in this context, it's really inspiring to have that sound, and more of the instrumental music that I play works well. But they went back to the round badge, you can see, which is kind of a throwback to the old days. And just face it, Gretsch is a classy instrument. It really is. The history of it. I went through a lot of phases in my playing, and I went through a jazz phase, and of course, there's a lot of rock guys that play Gretsch, but in the beginning, it was just a lot of the great jazz players played it in the 60s. And there's just a very cool history about that, an American history, American music. And I like that about Gretsch as well. I just like the whole package, the whole vibe. And this kit kind of brings that throwback kind of retro thing with the finishes and those little differences that I was telling you about. And I just think they sound really amazing. And if you can get this kind of response, the open tuning that I like to do, they'll definitely do the other thing, obviously. So if your tastes are more muffled or more, lower in pitch or whatever you like, they're certainly capable of that. But when you can get this out of it, that's a really good sign. And so, since I have that open bass drum happening, I tend to or the open tone in general over the kit, I tend to go for bigger sounds. I have this Latin percussion micro snare, they call it. And I've been, in the studio, I've always used different snare drums depending on the track or whatever sound I was going for. But snare drums change the vibe of a track so much.
Carlock, great clinic, dude. Learned a lot.
Do I have anything coming up? Yeah.
Amazing Gretsch.
Finally great to meet the man and the myth. Crazy technique, great drums, great product.
I'm Lance Robbins here at Guitar Center, Halstead, Chicago. Keith Carlock, one of the best, a great clinic right here at Guitar Center. I'm all excited. Revive me.
What'd you think of the Gretsch kit?
Gretsch kit is wonderful. It's the new Brooklyn line. It's open, it's old school, it's fat, and you're gonna love it. We loved it.
Obviously, awesome. Check it out right here. Clinic was great. You blew my mind. First time to even a clinic at Guitar Center. It was awesome. Turned at the corner, rung my ears out. It's fantastic.